Fam, what's going on? It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Could I get a roll tide up in the comment box? Thank you very much for watching. Today is Tuesday, January 14th. We got a lot to talk about today as we go into another busy week. We are inching closer to spring football season. Alabama basketball in full effect tonight, taking on Ole Miss, which should be a great top 25 showdown. Nate Oates and Mark Sears absolutely doing work. Mark Sears, I was reading an article and it said Mark Sears is playing better than he did last year, which I agree with, man. I'm so glad that he came back for this coming season. And also today we're going to talk and we'll open the show discussing Ty Haywood and why he decommitted. It wasn't a shocker that he decommitted by any stretch of the imagination, but finally, since he did decommit, let's talk a little bit about it because I know people have questions. And I think when you look to the tackle position, that's another reason that it hurts. The fact that he's probably going to Michigan, probably why it stings a little bit more, but we'll walk you off the ledge in terms of that. We'll talk a little bit about Coach Prime possibly going to the Dallas Cowboys. And look, during this time of year, we talk about college football topics, NFL topics, and the way that I'll kind of frame this with Coach Prime, I was thinking about this. Coach Prime going to the Cowboys, if it does happen, what could the domino effects be in terms of Alabama football? Colorado has two tackles that I'm kind of already eyeing, to be honest. List those tackles if you know who I'm talking about inside the comment box. Yesterday, there was that fake article that came out about Quinn Ewers. Is he coming to Alabama? No. Okay. But when you look to Alabama's quarterback room, do they need a quarterback that has experience? Well, I think we can go back and forth on that. But Quinn Ewers, he's not coming to Alabama, so don't worry about that. There's a photo that is circulating around that is not fake. That's Coach Saban with a supermodel. Okay, T, have you seen the T's here?
Hello, everyone.
T's a little under the weather, but her voice is still crisp. T.
Oh, good.
Yeah, are you doing all right?
I'm good.
All right. Okay. So we got T up in the house. Took a little Monday. Did you take off?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. You feeling okay though? All right. Good. We got the 3 dogs up in the office. Okay. So 3 dogs up in here. You got Alabama taking on Ole Miss tonight, and that will be our show today. So let's open it right away and talk about this Ty guy and kind of get this out of the way. So if you were watching yesterday, was there anyone that was shocked by this? Now, a lot of people don't follow this as closely as us. There's a lot of us that, have a microscope on every single movement of all these prospects. But honestly, it wasn't a shocker that Ty Haywood decommitted. There might be a couple people out there that are like, wow, what happened? Because they don't follow the day-to-day news. So let me just kind of paint the story. Ty Haywood is a 5-star prospect, a tackle from the state of Texas that committed to Alabama. Okay. He was part of this class of 2025. So everybody was excited about him, and rightfully so. You can look at his Instagram. I did yesterday, and guys like Keelan Russell, Coach David Ballou, Ryan Williams are like, congratulations, man. Come be a part of something great. The guy was locked in. Okay. This particular case was very NIL driven. And what that means is he absolutely wanted to go to the highest bidder. That's his prerogative. That's his family. That's their business. Now, does that mean that Alabama's broke? No, absolutely not. I think when you look to this current stage of where money is going, Alabama is clearly spending their money on its quarterback, a couple players that are returning to this roster. And look, this is kind of the world that we live in. I think it does sting a little bit because of the fact that he is a tackle, not necessarily maybe that he's going to Michigan. I don't really care about that. But the fact that Alabama just needs a tackle with Elijah Pritchett leaving, Miles McVay, Ben Trade, and now Haywood, I don't care who's coming or who's going. All I care about is really the tackle position because that's protecting our quarterbacks. So, look, Ty Haywood, he's probably going to go to Michigan, but people have known this for a lot of time, right? This has been like the ongoing thing. But I guess just because he officially announced that he decommitted, that's why it came up. So if you're out there, don't feel like the world is, falling down under DeBoer, that this recruiting class is going elsewhere. Everybody already knew this. So don't freak out. Now, I think it's worth mentioning that Alabama does need not one tackle, but several tackles. As I mentioned, you lose really 4 tackles to this class of 2025 roster. So that's where Alabama, I would imagine, has a heavy focus in. And you also have another transfer portal window that is upcoming. So look, I know and to my surprise too, and I love this because you love the players that are on Alabama's team. A lot of people have confidence that Wilcom Formby will improve, right? So, I mean, we've seen it before, and this guy was clearly in development. Last year, he wasn't ready to play, but can this guy get better for this next year? Yeah, 100%. But until we actually see it, we can't really believe it yet. Checkmate, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Daniel Adams, Alex Wilder, Max Tooney, Kalen DeBoss, DSGB, Zach Miller, what's up? And I don't really have it on the show today, but everybody's asking about Ryan Grubb. There's no real news to report on Ryan Grubb. I mean, if there was, I wish there was, to tell you something about Ryan Grubb, but it's been after he got fired by the Seahawks, there really hasn't been much more than that, to be honest. And Nick Sheridan and Coach Kalen DeBoer and the rest of Coach Kalen DeBoer's staff right now, they're going around recruiting. They're visiting with prospects from the class of 26, prospects from Alabama, rightfully so, right? I know we wanted to see more guys from Alabama come in, but that's not always the case. I mean, the guy brought in a stellar class of 2025 with or without Ty Haywood, to be honest. And that's one of the bright spots about Coach Kalen DeBoer's staff, and something that can give you, I think, something positive to look forward to is, okay, 9-4 season, but let me put it like this: what if you had a 9-4 season with a recruiting class that was number 25? Do you see what I'm saying? Frame it like this: end the season 9-4, and the number 2 or number 3 ranked recruiting class. You see what I'm saying? Feels a little bit better when you look at it like that. Lee, what's up? I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And Antonio is saying a decommitment doesn't necessarily mean he signs with another team. Ryan Williams decommitted also, just playing devil's advocate. You know what? That's a really good point. I think that, but in this particular possibility, I feel that Ty Haywood is 1,000,000% going to Michigan. I think like Texas Tech is also in the mix. And the reason I feel like this is because of what the president of Barstool Sports said, is that they spent as much money as possible to get Bryce Underwood. And I think they're going to do the same thing to get the tackle to protect him, which I hope Alabama, and I know they will, dedicate the resources to get a tackle. It just, this isn't going to just happen overnight. And I think we're going to be patient about who Alabama brings in at that tackle position. But they need several tackles, not just one tackle, right? I don't think Arquel Anugum is ready to play quite yet. And Wilcom Formby, we'll hope that he continues to get better. Todd, inside the comment box, said that, he improved, throughout the year. Players improved. The guy's a redshirt freshman. So let's see how that continues to happen. And the last thing I want to mention on this is I think that, from my understanding, it looks like Bama dedicated its resources to keeping the players that they already have on the roster. Think about all the defensive players coming back. The defensive players coming back, they're coming back because I think Alabama has found a way to take care of them from a monetary standpoint, but also because they have unfinished business, right? So similar to what Ohio State did. Ohio State, this team right now, paid to keep a lot of their players, but also paid for some big time players. And I, to be honest, and I just want to be straightforward with you, and I've said this, I think I said this yesterday, I still don't feel that Alabama has like a huge home run hit out of the transfer portal. I think Isaiah Horton is a very special player, but I don't think they brought in like a player that you're like, oh my goodness, this guy is going to be absolutely it. I feel they kind of brought in more good reserves than they did like a high caliber transfer. And because you really didn't necessarily need a big transfer to come in with all the returners that you had going into the season. You get what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if you were to get, I don't know, like what position did you really need to replenish with a top tier guy? Running back? No. You got Jam Miller coming back and Richard Young. Quarterback? No. You got your three quarterbacks. Wide receiver? Not really. You got Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard coming back. Tight end? Maybe so. Offensive tackle, that's one, right? Offensive line. So defense, everybody's returning on defense. So Mike Fort is saying it's not only NIL. There's some trickle down from the Underwood recruitment. Yeah, I think Underwood. I think Ty Haywood wants to play with Bryce Underwood, 100%. And DSGB saying Bama has enough talent. I think they do. That's why they're probably whatever money Alabama wants to dedicate is probably going to go to a couple tackles. So don't freak out about this whole Ty Haywood thing. Honestly, like I don't want to. I'm not a person that walks you off the ledge. I'm not going to like sunshine pump, but honestly, we knew this was coming for a while now. Like it wasn't an absolute shock. Okay. All right. Patriot Life's going crazy with fan funderships. So be sure and give Patriot Life a thank you note inside the comment box because he's given already 15. When you become a fan funder of Bama football on YouTube, this is how this all works. Okay. You fan fund the YouTube channel, which is me, right? And T. Like this is like the mom and pop type business. Okay. Different months do different things for us. This month is a slow month, so we appreciate the support more than anything. So thank you so much. Coach Prime to Dallas. Why is this interesting? Well, it's Coach Prime. Everything around Coach Prime is interesting, right? I think when you look to Coach Prime and what he's done at Colorado, it's been hella interesting to follow because I used to cover Colorado. Okay. And Colorado was difficult to cover because they played in the Pac-12. They were never what we thought. They were never going to go back to like those great 90 teams. But Coach Prime going there was an interesting experiment from a coaching perspective because he's really brought Colorado to life. Now, him going to the Dallas Cowboys, to me, it makes sense. Do you think, and you might not follow the NFL, but you know Coach Prime. But it seems like when the stars align, like Cowboys need a new coach, Coach Prime's son going to the NFL, it seems like it would be a good fit for Coach Prime to go to the Cowboys. Okay. And then I was thinking about this. I was thinking like this could be a trickle down effect in terms of like what players on Colorado's roster. Let's say this all happens because the transfer window would open for 30 days, right? At Colorado. There's two tackles that I have my eye on. All right. If this all happens, right? Jordan Seaton. Remember Jordan Seaton? Ended up picking Colorado. He started every single game for Colorado, by the way, as a true freshman this past season. And then Carr Smith, right, out of Mobile, Alabama. No, I'm not sure why Alabama didn't recruit Smith. So Todd follows recruiting really well inside the comment box, but I was kind of going over his detail this morning, and I didn't really see, a lot of recruiting action from Carr Smith in 2025. He's a tackle as well. So those are two tackles that I was thinking about that maybe, Alabama could target. And then you also look to the coaching trickle-down effect. Colorado is going to be a job that somebody wants to get. So there's all sorts of domino effects if this happens in terms of, Coach Prime going to the Cowboys. There's several NFL programs that need a head football coach. The Bears, the Jags, the Raiders, the Cowboys, the Jets. I guess the Raiders and Coach Prime, that's not going to happen. But it seems like Jerry Jones and Prime have already spoken. I think that's pretty interesting. I'm not a Cowboys fan. And this is the thing. If I'm Coach Prime, I'm sure that he wants to coach his son, right? Shedeur Sanders. But, man, they're like they got married to Dak Prescott. And Dak Prescott don't even play. It's Cooper Rush who should have got the multi-million-dollar deal. All right, Todd is saying that in-state schools didn't offer Smith. Yeah, I'm going to dive in more to that. I don't know if, the level of player that he is, but considering he's in-state, if the transfer portal does open up, I think that would be something interesting to follow. I appreciate the update, Todd, as always. Nick Harden, what's up, man? Appreciate you being here. Alex Wilder and Sarah Crane and Damian, what's up, man? Thank you so much for joining us this morning as well. So we'll track that. I think it's interesting. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, let me know what you think. This was also in the news yesterday, this whole Quinn Ewers thing. Now, let me ask you right now inside the comment box, do you think this guy is going to the NFL or do you think that he's going to hit the transfer portal? Carson Beck he declared, damn, Patriot Life, in with a 30 spot for some content cash. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Type P for portal or type N for NFL. I think he's going to go the transfer portal. I don't know if this is accurate, but Carson Beck, I think he's going to make like $4 million by going to Miami. So if Quinn goes somewhere for relatively the same amount, that's a lot of cheddar for a transfer, right? And then I started thinking about it. I was like, damn, is Jalen Milroe? Here's my other question for you. Just be honest. Jalen Milroe doesn't even come here anymore. Okay. Just be honest. Who's the better quarterback? Jalen Milroe or Quinn Ewers? Seriously. Well, on Mel Kiper's draft board, he has Jalen Milroe above Quinn. These two players went head to head, and Quinn was able to beat, Jalen. They won here in Tuscaloosa. But who's the better quarterback? Let me ask you this. Let's rank these three quarterbacks. Can we rank Will Howard, Quinn Ewers, and Jalen Milroe? See, Michael's saying that Milroe has more upside, and so does Brandon. Brandon is like, Milroe has more potential, and that's why it's going to be so interesting to watch in the NFL is what Jalen Milroe does. I don't care where he goes, what round he goes in, but I promise you, I am watching everything Jalen Milroe in the NFL just because I want to see what happens when he goes to an NFL organization, right? Rich B, I was talking to an Ohio State fan this morning. Will Howard, I feel, is Will Howard like a game manager? Are we going to say this? Todd has it, Howard, Ewers, Milroe. Ken Jenkins says Ewers is injury prone. Matt Farms has it, Howard, Milroe, Beck, Ewers. Yeah, like all those guys are kind of relatively the same, right? I think he transfers. I don't know. Where do you think? Have you seen landing spots for this guy? It's not going to be Alabama. There was an X account that started this, and they said Alabama could be a landing spot. It's not going to be a landing spot for him to come over here. Would that be interesting? Yeah, hell yeah, it'd be interesting, but he's not coming here. Notre Dame, okay, that makes a lot of sense. How about Ohio State? Quincy said that yesterday. Oregon, yeah, because you got to replace Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel, this quarterback for Oregon, he was ranked like number 10 on the draft board in terms of all the quarterbacks. Ole Miss, okay. Georgia. Because like Georgia seems interesting because I'm not really sold on Gunnar Stockton. I just haven't seen too much of him. When I did see him play, I wasn't like overly shocked. Georgia's quarterbacks have kind of been mid. I don't know. It's interesting for sure. I think it's a little and I guess he has until tomorrow to declare for the NFL, but of course he has, time to decide where he's going to transfer. Todd, you know what, dude? That is so true. Why does Georgia never has wide receivers? They haven't had wide receivers in some time. These wide receivers aren't that talented at Georgia. You would think that they have like these ballers that, look, LSU's wide receiver is really good. Texas has good wide receivers. This Ryan Wingo dude, he's better than Isaiah Bond. And Bond just announced that he's going to the NFL. Yeah, Ant Dodd is saying Kyron Lacey, that whole situation with him, having the getting to the accident and just bouncing, that was absolutely crazy. There's video of it. Yeah. But I guess he's like fully cooperating with authorities or whatever. Oh, yeah. Now they got Zachariah Branch. So now Georgia has Zachariah Branch finally. Maybe he could be the guy that balls out. They've certainly been needing someone like that, but their wide receivers have never really been that good. Their tight ends, I think, have been good, clearly. What do you think? Look, what was crazy? I think losing Isaiah Bond, I thought would have a bigger impact, I guess. I knew Caleb Downs would. But I was hurt when Isaiah Bond left to hit the transfer portal, and then especially going to Texas, right? Didn't you think, T, that like losing Isaiah Bond would like hurt? And the guy caught the grave digger.
Yeah,
he's a good receiver.
He was
know what? Did anybody miss Isaiah Bond this year?
No.
No, I like I forgot about him. Seriously.
I mean, he just had that one huge play, which is, and it was Auburn the last game of the year, so it really stuck in our head.
He was a good receiver.
He was good.
Yeah. But I don't know. I was like, I didn't really miss him. Right? It was weird. You know, what was hilarious is when they dubbed over the 4th and 31 and they put another receiver catching the pass from Milrow.
Yeah.
You know, and I was watching Isaiah Bond in these semifinal games, and I know he was coming back from an injury, but I felt that the Wingo guy, the receiver, was better than him. Plus, he had kind of a case of the drops. He like went up, jumped for a pass, and dropped it. I don't know. I thought we would have missed him, but we didn't. So him going, I think he'll be a good NFL wide receiver. I do, but didn't miss him at all. See,
I picked him a couple of times, like on the pick six stuff, and he never covered for me one time.
And neither did Aaron Anderson.
Yeah.
He was a guy that was kind of up and down,
Same.
but he's a good wide receiver. Aaron Anderson's good. But you kind of think to those guys, all the wide receivers that transferred elsewhere, Malik Benson, I think he's going to Oregon now. That's a guy, you know, I thought you might miss him. Isaiah Bond, Jermaine Burton, I know he went to the NFL. He's having some personal stuff now. But all those guys are forgotten by the wide receivers this year. I guess because Ryan Williams kind of took the world by storm.
Yeah.
I mean, and what Ryan Williams was able to do specifically early in the season too. And I think the consistency of Jeremy Bernard, I don't know, it's just interesting to think about. But you know, Bond's going to be a good NFL prospect, but didn't miss him at all. And who the hell knows where Coach Saban goes. All right, so have you seen this? Coach Saban was with Sydney. Now, do you know who Sydney is, T?
I don't think so.
All right, so Sydney Thomas. Okay, does you got who in the comment box knows who Sydney Thomas is? Okay. So Sydney Thomas is a supermodel. I think she came to Alabama. Okay. I think she came to Alabama, but she basically took the world by storm when she was on, remember the Jake Paul fight when he fought Tyson?
Yeah.
She was a ring, she was a ring girl.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay.
I didn't know she was from Alabama. Okay. I guarantee you Coach Saban has no idea who she is. Okay. She's a supermodel. Okay. So this is a story. Have you been following this? So Sydney, the young lady, says that an SEC, I promise you, that an SEC, did you guys see this? That an SEC coach slid into her DMs.
Ooh.
Okay.
I bet I know who it is.
Well, no. Okay. So who do you think, T?
Kiffin?
Yes. So I don't know if this is true or not, but someone posted that Kiffin that just tweeted to her, "Roll Tide, roll."
Yeah.
Like, and she screenshot it and showed. You can screenshot anything. We have no idea. Remember when they were screenshotting Ryan Williams on Snapchat?
Yeah.
You can Photoshop anything, right? It's not hard.
Like something
but we don't know if it was that. That was the old Joey Freshwater or whatever. Okay, so she posts this and people start laughing about it. Okay, and then this photo comes up literally just by coincidence, like the next day, and Lane Kiffin tweets out. He was like, "Mystery solved." And then, you know, Saban has no idea who she is, and maybe in some sort of way. I mean, Saban's not living under a rock, but
Kiffin's all like, "Oh, thank God."
Did you see this? It was so funny. Man, Kiffin there's no better coach that has a better like troll game and on X or uses it more. And he uses it right, like in a funny, like a lighthearted way. Because at first, it was when he first started doing this, it was kind of annoying. But I think it's became funny how he's done this. So Coach Saban living his best life. I mean, aside from this, he's playing golf. He's on College Game Day. And we've been talking about this lately, T, is like him coming back as like some sort of college commissioner. Like, A, that's not going to happen. But B, think about what he's done on College Game Day following Alabama. I mean, just absolutely incredible. I mean, he's the best thing. He's one of the best things about college football right now is Coach Saban and what he does on College Game Day. Honestly, having more takes of Coach Saban is absolutely it. So, you know, I just thought this was hilarious yesterday with that coming up. I'm sure you guys saw it. Alabama taking on Ole Miss. This is a pivotal game that is taking place tonight. You have a top 25 showdown in the SEC. You know what's interesting about this is Ole Miss, if you look down at that bottom graphic, is only allowing 60 points per game. And that's not going to fly tonight at Coleman because Alabama has scored 80 or more in 12 straight games. Jarvis has it at 11 and a half, Alabama versus Ole Miss. Yo, let me ask you something. If you've been following this team, and there's still plenty of room for you to jump on the bandwagon and watch this Alabama team. In fact, they have Kentucky coming up, which should be must watch TV. Okay, Alex has it at minus 14. Is it minus 14 or minus 11? All right, let me ask you this: if you've been following basketball, the play of Mark Sears, he is one particular player. He came back. Yo, I think he's been better than last season. Would you agree with this? If you have been watching Mark Series, averaging 19.1 points per game, right? Man, but Ole Miss and Kentucky following this last stretch against Texas A&M. But guess what? This early season stretch when they were banging against those better teams got them ready for this type of stretch and has them ready for SEC play. And the SEC in basketball right now is top. It's a top flight, right? So Wrightsell, Mallet, and Reed. I think Reed's questionable tonight on the SEC availability chart. So Alabama will have to go to more depth. You look to like Holloway, who's been playing absolutely fantastic. One of my favorite players is Modi Abate. Phylon. I can't even believe that guy's a freshman, right? And the big man, Cliff Amori. I think he's been battling as well. So Alabama basketball, taking on Ole Miss. And if you haven't had a chance to watch this, or you're like kind of more of like a casual fan, definitely check it out because Alabama basketball. And we talked about these yesterday, giving props to Nate Oates. I mean, what Nate Oates has been able to do at Alabama so quickly, it's absolutely it. Plant the flag is saying the SEC basketball is the conference now, 1,000,000%. And in February, as we saw yesterday, February 15th is when Alabama and Auburn will tangle. I think Auburn's number 2, Tennessee number 1, Auburn's number 2, Alabama's number 4 now, right? Ole Miss is in the top 25, Texas A&M. So you look to all the teams in the top 25 within the SEC. It's absolutely been fun to watch.
Right?
Is Auburn number 1? Auburn moved to, yeah, I guess they moved to 1. Okay, so thank you. Auburn moved to 1. I guess so. What is it? Yeah, because the AP. Let's see what the AP said yesterday.
Auburn is 1, Iowa State 2.
Okay, yeah.
Duke
So
3.
yeah, because it came out yesterday. So my bad on that. So Auburn 1, Iowa State 2, Duke 3, 4 Bama, 5 Florida, Tennessee 6. Jeez, man. 8 Kentucky. Yo, the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my, Texas A&M's 11. Jeez, what a league. That is wild, man. I can't. If you have tickets for that Alabama and Auburn game here in Tuscaloosa on the 15th, props to you for being here. And that's the thing, when they build this new stadium or this new arena, I don't know if they ever will. We keep on talking about it. It'll be smaller than Coleman. Coleman's a big arena, right? So, anyways, wow. Auburn number 1 under Bruce Pearl, and Nate Oates has had his way with Bruce Pearl, which not a lot of coaches can say that. Yesterday, did you see the team? We were talking about the stakes yesterday for the offensive lineman.
Yeah, I did see this.
Yeah, the big guys, man. Those are a lot bigger stakes than the stakes that we had.
Yeah, well, we cut ours in half too. These
yeah, we butterflied ours, but these are like the real stakes. If you guys missed this yesterday, a new offensive lineman eating really well with Coach Kapilovic. All right, that was yesterday. So yeah,
Al Waldrop really does look that young.
Yeah, I mean, I think the older you get, the younger guys look. Like, yeah. I mean, Caden, my son is driving, and you look to like 16-year-olds. He looks like he's a child out there driving, but you think back when you were driving. All right, so I wanted to kind of open up the floor today and talk about just Alabama football in general, and post your big 3 questions, and maybe a question that you have in year 2 under Coach Kalen DeBoer. All right, so I'm looking for year 2 questions under Coach Kalen DeBoer. And I think we can look at this a couple different ways. Is like, because I think when you look to year 1, a lot of people wonder if he really had control of the program, right? I don't know. It seemed like to me a really good sign. We don't know that. I mean, how many of you were in the locker room? Zero. But I think when you look to the fact that all these guys are returning, I think it's a very positive sign for Coach Kalen DeBoer and his staff. I know you want a new offensive coordinator, and maybe at times you weren't happy about Kane Womack or whatever, but guys coming back, I think is a good thing, on the defensive side. And Damien's right. Jalen Milroe, you got that. That was the other thing is how much control did he have being a guy who was coming back, a polarizing player, a guy with a lot of power, and the players respected him being a 2-year leader, right? That's something people think about as well, right? Oceanic Jazz says, will the board take accountability for their loss? And that's something that's interesting because we didn't see. I'm with you, Oceanic Jazz. I don't feel that a lot of times the coaches took accountability for what was happening on the field. That's something that really made me mad, to be honest. So I went back and watched Coach Saban after losses. I was watching what he would say in terms of like accountability. Look, I honestly feel that Coach Saban did a good job owning up to things that didn't go right on the field. And I feel that, and I know this might make people mad, and you're gonna be like protecting Coach Kalen DeBoer. Look, this is something that stood out to me. I feel that they danced around issues that they didn't want to hurt feelings. I think, like, just say how it is, and that's what it is, right? If you got your ass kicked, you got your ass kicked. If you made the wrong call, you made the wrong call, and that's it. And people like that. Actually, it makes them mad, but people get over it quickly because you admitted you owned up to it. You see what I'm saying? Same thing in life with anything else. You own up to something right away. People are like, damn, why'd you do that? And then you move on. But if you keep beating around the bush and if you never really kind of own up to it, it makes it a bigger issue because people know what went wrong, like the quarterback deal, right? And then even the way that he answered the quarterback thing at the end of the year, like he saw the fire in the eyes. We all know that he should have been benched and Ty Simpson should have played, period. All right, 8M85, T.
He's saying Sports Illustrated posted an article saying Grubb could end up as an analyst role at UCLA. No clue if it's true or not. I saw that same article, actually.
Yeah, I know. I haven't seen anything.
Like as a temporary kind of position since we're so late into the hiring process for coaches.
I'm like exhausted on Grubb.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see him come, to be honest. I really would like to see Grubb come. Not because and the NFL to college, it's a different game, but I don't know. I was never really happy with Nick Sheridan, and I felt I'm willing to give him a shot in the year 2. I really am. But I felt what made me less confident in Nick Sheridan this past year or recently actually was watching the college playoffs. I felt that those offensive coordinators were better. And I was like, damn, look at how this team's doing this. Look at how this team's using their quarterback or getting their ball to this or that. I don't know. It kind of made me a little bit mad watching it made me like Sheridan less from watching the playoffs. Just me. What else we got inside the comment box? Bobby Bowers, what's up, man? He says DeBoer seemed a little bit too
affable.
Yeah, yeah. What's up, Bobby? I appreciate you being here. Nick Harden, what does Nick Harden want to see? He wants to see Grubb come to Alabama. Yeah, but I just don't want to get stuck on like wishing on that star. And I think that's kind of where we are, right? Brody, Ty Simpson will be great. And that's the thing. It's like we want him. That's the other thing where we're watching is like, how good is this guy going to be? Because we never really saw him play. Owen says, could you read Owen Davis up in the comment box, T?
Yeah, he's saying hopefully he addresses why he left Milroe in a lot of games, and maybe he should have gave him a breather. Milroe's regression will always bother me.
He won't. Yeah, and that was the thing. Like he definitely regressed in the back end of the season, but he won't talk about Milroe again. I think that's just done. That was a relationship that needed to end, like Damian Harris said, and it finally did. And I think we all need to move on from that. In the past, quarterbacks that we've had here, it's been 2 years under Milroe, 2 years under Bryce before that, and then Mac Jones. So those have been your quarterbacks. AJ Henderson, what's up, cuz? Nobody talks about Austin Mack, but he came for a reason, and he has a skill set that I think Coach Kalen DeBoer likes. Otherwise, like he specifically brought him here. He didn't bring Ty Simpson here. He's kept Ty Simpson here. He's welcomed him here, but he brought Austin Mack here. He brought Keelan Russell here, right? Plain truth is saying Milroe gave away that Tennessee game. And there's a lot of people that are going to talk about this going forward is the fact that the way that Jalen's feet were set, it was basically like a tail sign. I don't know if that was true or not. I'd like to and you could never get a straight answer out of like an assistant coach at Alabama, right? Like, what did you think about that? I would be curious to see how they danced around that question. But I know that viral video that went around saying that the way that his feet were lined up dictated what Alabama was going to do in terms of passing the football or running the football. Bro moment inside the comment box, T.
He's saying DeBoer seems like he doesn't want to win. Like every time they lose, he has the same lines to say and everything. If he had a winner's mindset, he would just coach the team as such and make the adjustments.
Appreciate the feedback, bro. I think Coach Kalen DeBoer, what's so different to us is his mild-mannered approach. And look, I was watching the Vikings last night. That coach was cool, calm, and collective, and they were getting their teeth kicked in. Coach Saban had more fire in his belly, which we're used to. Nate Oates has fire in his. The guy when he gets it technical, the team wins. Coach Kalen DeBoer is a different cat, right? He's super cool throughout. Now he gets fired up on the sidelines like any other coach, but I think that he does care. I mean, look, there's already people saying that if he doesn't make the playoffs or things, whatever, that he's on the hot seat in year 2. The standards are high as the coach here at Alabama football, and they should always be. The standards here aren't to make the playoffs. The standards here is to win a championship. And when you have the resources and the way that Alabama football and the rest of the league will now move to a different model of payment with the teams being able to use, $20 million or whatever, Alabama's going to be once again in the driver's seat in terms of teams that have money, that have great coaching, right? Or so we think, great coaching. So year 2 is the biggest year for Coach Kalen DeBoer. Look, I'm past year 1. We have data points, but we need more data points to see what he can do with this team, with all these defensive players, with the brand new quarterback. You're still going to have the same staff, it looks like. I guess you added Jay Nunez as the official special teams coach. He already was that. T, do you have something?
Well, no, Lee made an interesting point saying he's not Saban. Stop comparing him. That's why a lot of coaches didn't take the job because they didn't want that to happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but it's hard not to since he was our coach for, that long. So
yeah, but at least he had the stones to take the job. I mean, not a lot of people wanted to touch this job because they knew that this would be a fallout.
Well, but they also knew what they had to live up to.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Can you imagine being compared to Saban out of anybody on this earth?
No.
Like any person who takes over, next job, or you're going to be compared a little bit to this guy or whatever. But like to Coach Saban?
But you should know that was going to happen.
I know. And that's why I'm saying at least Coach DeBoer at least had the stones to be like, okay, I'll take the job.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I think Washington, to my understanding, was willing to pay him a significant higher salary to keep him. Mm-hmm. But he wanted this challenge, right? So look, this guy is clearly in it. It's year 2. I kind of wonder too if Coach Kalen DeBoer, if he knew how much media attention and how much kind of this would be. Yeah. I don't think he did.
No, I don't think.
And you learn to deal with it, and he's continued to do. And I'm sure he'll do 5 million, interviews again, and maybe he won't. But I had never seen a coach do more interviews ever before a season, and then to not even make the playoffs. I mean, and if he comes back, will he have a little bit more of a backbone? I don't know. To me, look, I know people. This might make you upset. The guy seems soft AF. He seems like super nice and polite, but seems soft. And what scares me about that, if he doesn't win games, then people are going, recruits and players are going to see that. And I think they already do. I think, I'm sorry, man. I think he's soft. And I was thinking about this too, getting back to this whole Ty Haywood thing. I think Ty Haywood, I think before, and college football has changed, but Coach Saban, I think players knew that Coach Saban could develop you to the NFL. And I wonder if players feel that they can still get developed here at Alabama under Coach Kalen DeBoer. This will be Jay Baker saying, "Don't mistake kindness for me." That's 1,000,000% true for sure. But you don't make the playoffs. So if you don't make the playoffs, people are going to start questioning everything. But I wonder if players are now wondering if they can still be developed at the highest level here. I mean, because look, Alabama, there's a good chance that Alabama doesn't even have a prospect that is drafted in the first round, which I think we're riding a streak of like what, since 2007?
Yeah, when is the last time that
I think
happened?
they said 2007 yesterday, the undefeated. Owen Davis said, "Who's the calmest coach you have ever seen?" Man,
Calmest?
the Vikings coach last night was pretty chill at halftime, and they were getting absolutely
Kalen DeBoer has got to be up there.
for sure. Yeah. And look, he gets rationally upset, which is perfectly fine. Right. But Saban didn't play. Saban was like, man, remember when he went off on Maria Taylor and he came out and like apologized? He's hot. He was an animated guy. He's a competitive spirit at the highest point. But some people can control it a little bit better. Jaron Hamilton expected to transfer to Arizona State. I think that was yesterday, but Matt Zenitz just posted that out.
Yeah.
He was another wide receiver that I liked, but it's amazing to think about all the wide receivers that left, and you're still in such a good spot. Right? Are you mad about Kendrick Law? No. Are you mad about Kobe Prentice? No. Are you mad about Jaron Hamilton? No. Are you mad about Emmanuel Henderson? No. You have all these guys coming back at receiver. Chris from New Jersey is like the right tackle. Right tackle on repeat, right?
For sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, no major losses. And the fact that they got a good recruiting class, you're still under the recruiting numbers. Things are what I think also too is why these guys came back on defense is they wanted. I like the mentality when guys come back for unfinished business.
Wait, Bama haters back.
No, I know Bama
said,
haters
yeah.
back. I said I would have liked to see Bama hater, by the way, is a Miami fan. If you're
Yeah.
inside the comment box.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see Miami and Alabama play in the playoffs in a bowl game. Anyways, but I like the mentality of the defense. And okay, so what's your approval rating of? We really haven't talked about Kane Womack that much. What's your approval rating of Kane Womack? 10, like solid. 7, like yeah, pretty good. 5, you're like meh, or like 2, you're like fire his ass.
I'd say 7.
You know, his approval rating started off really high, and people were, because you know what, listening to Kane, I think I liked him from the beginning, and then we wanted him fired when they lost to Vanderbilt, and I think we were mad. When else were we mad at Kane? Was it Tennessee? No, that was Milroe.
Oklahoma.
We were mad at everybody for Oklahoma. We wanted everybody fired.
Vanderbilt.
I think it was Vanderbilt. It was after Vanderbilt where we wanted Kane. Remember, we were trying to push Kane. Remember, to Southern Mississippi.
Yeah.
Do you remember this? Everyone was like, "Oh, get him to Southern Mississippi. That's where his father coached and all this stuff." Now, you know who I think helped his approval rating is Bray Hubbard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was kind of coincidental, but I think they kind of found themselves, and the defensive secondary started playing a little bit better right when he came in. I don't know. It was kind of weird timing, but now we like Kane Womack. Yeah, I would say like 7.
Most of the undefeated said even higher than that, probably 8.
See, his approval rating's really high. Yeah. And that's been the highest approval rating that we've had, you know, for a defensive coordinator. But the defensive standards here are that I think after Saban, like when you start to break down different standards, like the defensive standard here at Alabama is the highest, and also like the running backs. That's why people aren't mad that they when I was talking about the running backs that Alabama's had in the past, they want to see heavy production from the running backs, this year and last year. But Kevin has it 8. Todd has it 8. Yeah, 8 after the Vandy debacle. Yeah, they got back on track. And I don't even have to ask Sheridan. I'm sure Sheridan is what, like a 2 or something like that. Um, what would you like to see Alabama's offense do more in 2025? Can you post that, T? What would you like to see them do more in 2025? Nick Sheridan. I don't want to do his approval rating. It's probably like a 0. I would say I I don't know why I'm obsessed with this. I love running back screens, like screens to the running backs. It seems to really work with the running backs that Alabama already has on its roster, right? And I think when they did it one time against Michigan, so I'd like to see that. I have no idea why this team was. I need to talk to like Bill Belichick or Saban and be like, why do you think that Alabama couldn't run the football? Was it because they didn't have a commitment to run the football? Could they not block? Was it the running backs?
Yeah.
Because they just didn't run the football. It was weird. Now they gave the running back Jam Miller finally 28 carries against I think Auburn, but they were never really a team. It was a quarterback running team. I mean, Jalen had the most attempts. Establish the run game. Thank you, Rocket Sound.
What do you think the answer to that question is?
Why they couldn't run the ball?
Yeah.
I think okay. Thank you. I think it's because they never really created schematically like a rhythm to running the ball. Like they never said we're just going to run the ball down this team's throat. I think they were like all over the place after Jalen Milroe. I think it was whatever Jalen Milroe can do, and then kind of after that it was like
their fallback plan.
Fallback run or fallback to bomb it to Ryan Williams. It was weird.
They didn't commit to it. And
Darren Jenkins is like, you had a running back, quarterback. And that was it. Is I think the reason that you ran the football, like the reason why you couldn't is because your quarterback was running the football.
Obviously some blocking issues.
Yeah,
too,
the blocking, the right tackle. I mean, that's the most blatant thing. How about some crossing patterns? I didn't see a lot of crossing patterns this year. And I think when you kind of look back to what we saw under early, like Mike Loxley was like this RPO with the quarterback that could work that intermediate passing with those slants that came across that were so deadly. You get one to those to Rico Scott or I don't know, Jalen Mbakwe or Cole Adams and let kind of the speed do the rest. Go back and watch some of those offenses. And that opened up a variety of things for Alabama. Byron Walker, could you read that, T?
Yeah. He's saying, Kyle, you're saying DeBoer is soft. DeBoer's hands were tied playing Milroe. Too much smoke that DeBoer was told by UA administration to play Milroe for NIL funds.
And that's something that, that would be crazy if we learned that. Like, I can't wait for the 30 for 30 on this year's team, like, in 5 years. And to see how much control or like what was really happening. And, if Alabama, because remember they did the documentary on length, which is still a thing. I still see players doing the length thing. I don't think, I get it. You guys say length is dead. I don't think it's dead. I think the length thing is like still a thing here. But this is the first time I ever seen. Is there any other university that has went along with like a slogan with the player, right? Because Terry Arnold started it, him and Milroe.
Yeah.
But I think because they went in so heavy, Alabama with Milroe on this length deal, that if they took him out, like the length deal that they had put all this money into and purchased all this gear for to sell to us, that would have died. I don't know. Who knows? I have a length shirt too. I have a length. They never really had a lot of gear lengthwise at the university. T, how many times did we go to university and see?
Oh yeah, we went.
They never really had a lot.
Once a month looking, and it was always really sparse. They had like a couple, XXXLs, and that was it.
And then everybody always everybody asked me about this hat. T, I need to, we need to show Chris Mobley how many people ask about this hat.
For sure.
Every single show.
Every show.
It's at Chris Mobley. So there's 2 stores here in Tuscaloosa. I don't know if you could order them. I wish they give me like an affiliate link. Like if you
Yeah.
got 10 orders, you get a hat for free because they're expensive. The hats are like, how much are they? Like 50?
Were they 65 or
Well,
45?
because I have the hard hat one. They have a basketball one that's a hard hat that I just went and got the other day. And that one was like 40, 30 or 40. But I like hats. Man, hat like I don't know how hat shouldn't be that expensive.
There is.
That's the only drawback. The hat is I love the hat. It's comfortable. It looks great. I love the the rope hats. But yeah, like I don't know. Yeah, like I don't want that. I don't want to be spending $60 on a hat. Um, but yeah, go out there if you're looking for one of these hats. They have this in white, black, and then I just saw crimson. So, what is Bama hater saying?
Let me find it.
What is soft is Bama fans calling DeBoer soft, but praised him and Milroe after beating Georgia. Well, so yeah, Bama
And
hater.
being 4-0.
So
yeah.
I was talking about this morning too. Who would have thought? Like because after that game against Georgia, we thought that Jalen Milroe was going to go first in the NFL draft. We thought he was going Bama hater. We thought he was going to go above Cam Ward. And boy, were we mistaken. It was just that half. And then he just after he played well in the Vanderbilt game, like I always say. But after that, we just like went down the other way. Max said something interesting inside the comment box, I guess. Chris Mobley should donate a hat. Yeah, I mean, they we'll continue to work with them.
Yeah,
but
I'll reach back out to
a lot of people just ask about the hat. I mean, look, it's Chris Mobley is the place to get them. I would imagine that you could order these online, or you should be able to. And they also have think about the same style, but they have it's a hard hat. You know, Nate Oates gives a hard hat award. It's it. So, those are the places that you can get. We live in Tuscaloosa, so it's easy to go like to these different stores. You know what I was going to order too? I saw this yesterday. Is there's now collector cards that you could buy, and it's there's 7 packs. I'll put the link in the description box, but it's 7 packs of cards, right? Like Upper Deck cards. Remember Upper Deck? And it's of Alabama football players. Now I was thinking we could get the packs and then we could send it to our subscribers.
Yeah.
You know, like as giveaways. Mm-hmm. We could open up like a new pack a day, right?
Yeah.
And then kind of give them away. I don't know. I collected cards growing up.
I think a lot of people did.
Did you guys collect cards growing up? Remember the cards and you would go to Beckett? Did anybody do this? I would collect cards, 49er cards, and I had them in a binder. Remember it was a sleeve of 9, and you would put your cards in there and you would turn the cards over and you would have like data from the season, right? And then what you would do, and every single card would have a number on the card, and you would buy a Beckett at like a card store, and then you would look it up and it'd be like, it was sorted by like Tops, Upper Deck, Pinnacle, and then it would tell you based on the card number how much that card was worth. Who did this? Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I obviously did
it. Oh man, I love doing that. That was like one of my greatest things. And then you know what else hit my school outside of that? Did anybody do Pogs? Do you know what Pogs were?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, there were the little like milk cap things.
Yeah.
They're like little cardboard discs that you.
Yes, yeah, but they were like different style, and you would get a Steely, or like the heavy ones, and you would go out and you would slam it down, and you would collect it.
I didn't know anybody else knew what Pogs were. That's funny.
No, Pogs were crazy. It hit my school. It was crazy. That and the yo-yo. Did the yo-yo guy come to your school?
Yeah.
Did this happen in your school? Who came? Who remember
the yo-yo trick guy?
And you're in elementary. Did this happen? I grew up in New Mexico. I don't know if this happened across the nation, but in like 4th grade, you had the yo-yo guy came here. He would come here. He would do all sorts of tricks, and then he would sell you the yo-yos.
Yeah, pretty smart.
Remember, walking the moon.
No, it was walking the dog.
Yeah, no. They had all sorts of things that you could do. Walking. I don't know. There was some people who could do some yo-yo tricks. I could do like maybe one.
Did you guys have to do like jump rope or hard too?
No.
No, we didn't do that.
We
in
didn't do
Mexico.
that. We only had the yo-yo guy and Pogs come out. Man, I don't know if they do that in school now. Are yo-yos still a thing?
What about Dare?
Dare, yeah. Dare
Do they
came
still
out.
do that?
Yes, remember Dare?
What did it? What was it? What did it stand for?
Oh shit!
Like, drugs are really bad.
What did Dare stand for? Dare. They came out. Yeah, 100%.
Mad was Mothers Against
No,
Drug
I know
Driving.
that
I
one.
don't. But
Dare
Dare was drugs.
Drugs. How do we not know this? What was Dare, fam? Oh shoot! All right. Damn. So, anyways, I don't know. Did Dare go to? Remember, and you had a Dare. I saw
The hats.
the last
and
time.
the
You know
shirts.
what? Or the last time I was in New Orleans.
Drug abuse resistance education.
Damn, who got that? Oh, you looked it up.
Yeah.
Oh, drugs. No. Okay.
Drugs are
No,
really
Jay Wood
exciting.
had it. Jay Wood had it. So the thing was, I remember when the last time I was in New Orleans, I was posted up. I think I sent you this poster, T, or this picture. I saw someone walking down the street in New Orleans,
Mm.
and he had a Dare shirt on.
Oh, are you serious?
Yes. Man.
We gotta ask the kids if they still come.
I don't know. Hopefully, did Dare get canceled somehow? Everything gets canceled.
How would Dare get canceled?
I don't know. It's just maybe like, yeah, why would it get canceled? But what happened? Nancy Reagan started Dare.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow. Interesting. Wow. In the 80s.
It is still around.
Yeah. I told you my Reagan story. I'm not going to say it again. But Jimmy Carter was recently lined in state. You saw that too. We talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny to watch all the presidents and everybody else sitting behind for the line of state ceremony.
Yeah, the seating arrangements were wild. What they put Obama and
Trump
next to each other.
Evidently,
they're like in order of like when they were in office, I guess.
But it looked like Trump and Obama were homies.
Well, I don't know. I saw like a funny lip reading, like dub over.
It's the best.
Where, yeah. There's a bunch of those going around.
All right, fam. Well, yeah, we kind of morphed into the morning show there for a minute, but I appreciate you guys kicking it with us, and thanks for all the feedback. You know, it's January 14th. We cover news as it happens, or turn it into a morning show on the back end, just to have fun. It's a lighthearted way to start the day, and I hope you guys are having an amazing start to this Tuesday, January 14th. And we appreciate all the feedback, whether you're from an outside, like if you follow another program, whatever. If you come with it, it's all good. We're open to all feedback inside the comment box. Definitely want to make sure that we see your comment, recognize you. If you're a fan funder, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, for joining us all the time. These are also available on Spotify and on iTunes. I usually update those like 45 minutes after the show. It has to process a little bit. Case, what's up, man? Appreciate you being here. Eagle Vision, thank you as well. And to everybody, honestly, man, like I try to treat everybody with respect, and I hope you guys feel appreciated here. And look, any type of comments that you have in here, I always say this: I would never belittle you. Like I'm always open just to dialogue. So come with it. This is your show, and you guys make it what it is. So thank you so much. Byron wants to know, T, is TikTok going away?
I don't know. They say that about every 6 months. So I'm going to say no. It is not going away.
But we're not. Are you TikToking still?
No,
not like doing like TikToks, but like
I don't really use TikTok, to be completely honest.
TikTok was.
I did for a while.
I never really got on TikTok.
I did, and then the ads went crazy, and I stopped using it. So
yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with TikTok or any of that stuff. Let's Rick says something. Rick's kind of heated. Let's get to Rick.
He's saying, what's with these fools moving all over the place? They need to fix this BS quick, cap on NIL money, and a 10-day window after final championship game, period.
Well, I think what's coming this summer is kind of some more, I guess, like guardrails around how universities are going to be able to have money along with NIL. And for example, this is what and we'll talk about this more later on in the show. But I think that what is going to happen, like the short form is this: programs are going to be able to use 20% of their overall revenue to distribute that to student athletes, right? So let's just say $20 million. And that's what Alabama is going to be able to utilize to pay its student athletes, okay? They can distribute that any way that they want. They can give 90% to the football team, 5% to the basketball team and 5% to all the other sports. We don't know how that is going to work. But what is also going to happen is you're also going to have room for NIL. And so this is just what I was thinking. And so how are you going to use NIL? Well, name, image, likeness. Could you see, I don't know, Walmart sponsoring, an entire sporting team, right? All these players are sponsored by Walmart, or all these sponsors, like Buc-ee's is the proud sponsor of the softball team. So every single player on the softball team is sponsored by Buc-ee's, and they get individual NIL deals plus the money that they're getting from that 5% from Alabama. You see what I'm saying? So I think there's going to be more guardrails. And I think anything over $600, from my understanding, has to be investigated into NIL. So I think you'll see more corporate sponsors come in with NIL, but then you have to look at what programs and what states have better NIL deals that they can bring to the university. For example, like, what if NASCAR wants to sponsor the wide receivers? And every single wide receiver gets like a NASCAR patch on their hat or on their helmet, and that is worth, NASCAR pays these players, I don't know, an additional $10,000 for rocking like a Talladega shirt. I have no idea, but that's what's going to. That looks like it's going to happen down the road. It's confusing AF. I got it. I appreciate you guys being here. I love you guys. Have an amazing Tuesday. Let us know where you're coming from inside the comment box. And again, As News Happens right here on Bama Football on YouTube every day, Monday through Friday. As News Happens. Sometimes YouTube Shorts, sometimes, in different states. We keep it rocking right here. And appreciate you guys being here. See you soon.